Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday in a cold, miserable New Jersey. Hello. Do you struggle to follow through? For many years, when I was a young man, I had to focus very hard on following through. As I grew older, it became my mantra for me personally. Follow through, finish the project, don't stop. But many people promise themselves that they're going to change their behavior and learn to follow through. Very difficult. Here are some examples of what I'm talking about. People say things like, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start eating well. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start getting up earlier and exercising in the morning. I'm going to get my taxes done on time. I'm going to be on time everywhere I go from now on. And I'm going to clean up all the clutter. Well, guess what? Most people who say those things don't do them. Think about it. It's due to what's called resistance syndrome. It's not as scary as it sounds, but let's discuss what I mean by resistance. You don't want to be controlled by others, by God or by some other higher. Most importantly, you don't want to take control for yourself. What do you think about that? In other words, you're resisting responsibility and accountability to yourself and the changes you want to make. This is what happens. Well, as long as you're resisting control is your primary motivation in life, even if it's unconscious, you're going to be stuck. It's only when loving yourself and others is more important to you than whether or not you're being subject to control that you'll be able to make progress. Think about it. If you had parents who were invasive, you were controlled at a very early age, and you likely felt helpless and angry. Well, since you may have needed to give up parts of yourself to get approval during those years, or at least get your parents off your back, you discovered ways to resist, to avoid losing your sense of self and independence. This resistance became part of your identity, our identity, a survival mechanism, if you will, for wounded self to feel more empowered. Think about it. So what happens is, mom tells you to take out the garbage 100 times, and you know what you do? Every time she tells you, you go deeper into, I'm not doing it. What happened is, sometimes that's transferred over into my adult life. When Mrs. Stoner and I talk about things, and she asks me to do things, and I say, I forgot. It's very difficult to get out of resistance syndrome. Here's why. You're stuck in a pattern. No matter how much therapy you get, no matter how many healing processes you try, or how much self-help book you read, or workshops you attend, nothing works. You feel like the way you behave is just what they call the way it is. Well, you had controlling parents. One or both of your parents were controlling, invasive, overprotective, engulfing, consuming, abusive, shaming, or critical. Boy, that sounds like my father. And likely lent itself to my pattern of resistance at an early age. Sound familiar to anybody else out there? This is important stuff. This term, resistance syndrome, is very, very important because what you want to do is acknowledge it so you can deal with it. You want to change, but you're not taking action. That's what the syndrome is all about. We have the best of intentions to follow through. We do. But it leads to frustration, disappointment, and feelings of self-blame. The cycle of goal setting but not following through perpetuates itself in many people's lives. And then you deny your deeper motivations. You say you want to eat better, lose weight, be on time, clean up your place, get the taxes done, but you're still not doing it. And you're in the denial about the fact that you might have a deeper goal underlying everything, which is to not be controlled by anyone or anything. It's the ultimate form of rebellion. Think about it. People who have this problem resent their own goals. Think about it. Every goal you set is going to be resisted. You get satisfaction out of others' frustration with you. You almost want negativity. Isn't that crazy? You gotta break the cycle. You gotta have a way out of the resistance. Well, let's talk about what you can do. First, you can notice that the resistance is a choice. And notice yourself making the choice. Often, resistance is unconscious. You may not be aware that you're actually choosing to make resisting being controlled more important than loving yourself. One way of becoming aware of the fact that you're resisting is to decide to notice yourself choosing to resist. Think about it. It's an epiphany. Instead of trying not to be in resistance, continue to resist, but do it consciously. Be out. And notice the consequences of the choice to resist. Think about it. Notice the consequences. Are you fulfilled? Do you have a purposeful life? Wait, if you don't, is resisting control worth it? What about making a new choice? We need to think about shifting our intention. We need to think about making a new choice, becoming a loving human, and making that more important than whether or not we are being controlled. We can get unstuck when loving ourselves and others is more important than resisting being controlled. If you start today learning to love yourself and form a process, you will improve. That's right. The other side of the rainbow is visible because this is not brain surgery. We're not doing brain surgery, okay? We're talking about things that happen to common people every single day. How many times, let's just get common thoughts here. How many times have you set out to do something and not done it? How many times have you said, I'm going to do that, and it never even comes up again on your radar? It happens to all of us, to everyone in America, in the world, okay? So guess what? What we have to find a way to do is to reduce, minimize, or totally eliminate the resistance syndrome in our lives. Get out of the pattern, get unstuck. You have to remember the core theme, the core and most important thing to think about when you're trying to extricate yourself from this type of situation. Ready? Number 1, you're not alone. Number 2, you're not alone. And number 3, you're not alone. Part of the resistance concept is the inability to fess up to it. Sound familiar? Okay. If you find yourself unable to follow through, if you find yourself dealing with your own resistance syndrome, take a few steps back. If you enjoyed today's video and this discussion about resistance and about trying to follow through in things in life, please subscribe to my channel. If you would like to send me comments, I reply to every single one of them. This is about making people's lives a little bit better, a little bit at a time. Cheers, everybody, and have a great day, and let's all try to improve ourselves. Cheers. Even if there's resistance. Have a great day. Cheers.